It's time for the trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Project 2025 would dismantle democracy as we know it.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No, no, no, other than day one."
Is a vision of implementing a startlingly authoritarian form of the U.S. government.
Same thing with the unions. They get their little 5%. They get another 2%. They get another 3%, 4%. Then all of a sudden, they're making more money than the people that own the company.
Do you do larger cuts, corporate cuts?
Yeah, I was planning on doing it. In fact,
You believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
What's at stake here is democracy itself. It's now Donald Trump's party. And if he's elected, the consequences will be catastrophic.
failed businesses. Here are just a few. Trump Ice bottled water, sold as the purest water from a secret spring, is from Vermont. Trump steaks ranged from $200 to $1,000. They were discontinued after 2 months. Trump Shuttle Airlines, Trump borrowed $250 million to buy an airline, but he didn't take care of the airplane, so an airplane crashed and then they went out of business after only 2 years. Trump Vodka, discontinued, low sales, many lawsuits over unpaid bills. Trump Castle, bankrupt and rebranded as Trump Marina. Trump Marina, bankrupt and sold. Trump Plaza, bankrupt and demolished. Trump's World Fair, bankrupt and demolished. Trump Taj Mahal Casino, it was advertised as the 8th wonder of the world, bankrupt and sold. Trump University, scam thousands, many lawsuits and investigations. Trump Network, MLM that sold vitamins and health stuff. Trump Board Game with Milton Bradley, pulled from shelves because it didn't sell. He later tried to re-release it. It sold even less. Trump Mortgage LLC, financial services, lasted a year. GoTrump.com, travel site, lasted a year. Trump Fragrances, pulled from shelves due to low sales. Trump Home Furniture, pulled from shelves due to low sales. Trump Net, telephone communication company, ran out of money before it even opened, and soon to fail because they all do. Truth Social, brought to you by Trump Media. Ew.
The reason that I'm coming forward now, I helped pull the wool over America's eyes towards a guy that should not be president, should never be president, and should be fired from the whole thing.
You talk a little bit about the way that that Trump was in reality versus the Trump that people saw on the show.
Well, what you see right now is sort of what he was in reality. He was, to a large degree, someone who was an entertainer. He really was not a good businessman. Our job is, from a marketing perspective, for the conceit of the show, was to make it seem like he was a legitimate businessman, competent, good judgment, compassion when needed. None of those things were actually apparent, but that's what we had to do to make the show work. And so we created that narrative, made it seem like it was money, like he was living in royalty, with the cars and the limousines and the helicopter all labeled Trump, in gilded, like the gilded New York age, and then had to position him as a great potential CEO. And I say potential because he never really was a CEO. Right. He was a lot of little businesses that he had. But to make the show work, we had to make it seem like that. And unfortunately, that, because we just pummeled American with those messages, that remains there right now. And to many people, even though there is significant things that you can see right now where that's not true, many people think it is. And right now, with the economy being one of those things that people are looking at, we made him seem to be a very smart businessman. And quite honestly, that is not true, because he wouldn't have 4 bankruptcies and then ultimately 6 during the time of Apprentice if he was that good.
Talk about his running mate. His running mate, Elon Musk. Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Think about that. That guy is literally the richest man in the world, spending millions of dollars to help Donald Trump buy an election. Now look, they're saying the quiet parts out loud now, because Donald Trump has already promised that he would put Elon in charge of government regulations that oversee the businesses that Elon runs. That's a hell of a buy. He could spend billions to make more than 10 billion on the back end. So in other words, Donald Trump, in front of the eyes of the American public, is promising corruption. That's what he's promising you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Good morning. Hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, as my tiny mic creeps into the shot there, if you can hear me, make sure that you give me some thumbs ups in the chat, maybe, so I can see it. Now, I am on my, I'm watching the show from my channel, my YouTube channel, the Trucker John channel. And for some reason, and this happened the other day, and I didn't look into it to figure it out because I kind of forgot about it. But for some reason, from this channel, from my own channel that I'm broadcasting from, live streaming from, I cannot go into the chat filter. And so all I'm seeing are top messages. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over to one of my other channels because the chat filters are working fine on the other channels. I don't know why it's not working on this one. But anyhow, we got thumbs up. So from Deborah Murphy, thank you. And from Aaron West, thank you, Aaron. Now, it looks like Mad Mac was first in the chat. Slava Ukraini to Mad Mac. Fancy's here. Deborah Murphy, Midas Kevin Anderson, Andrew Petrie. Thank you, guys. So I'm going to switch over to my other channel real quick so I can go to all chats. I just wanted to say hi to those first folks that are kind of front in the line there, in the front of the line, because I'm afraid that if I go over to the other channel, it might pick up the chat a little bit later, and it sometimes doesn't let you scroll like all the way back to the top. So anyhow, so now I'm on my Feet on the Dashboard channel, which I have. It's I just made that 12 years ago or something like that because of a short film that I put out called Feet on the Dashboard. So I'm on that. So that's what I'll be watching the chat from that channel because I can go to all chat. I just did. I went to the chat filter. I'm now in all chats. For some reason on my own channel, I don't know if it's just a temporary glitch or what. And I tried it on both my devices, on my iPhone and my iPad. So I don't know if I accidentally, touched something, some button somewhere that shut off my chat filter. I don't know, but anyhow, we'll get it figured out eventually. But so I'm watching you from the Feet on the Dashboard channel, and so yeah, I said hi to Mad Mac and Fancy, Deborah Murphy, Midas Kevin, Aaron West, Andrew Petrie, all here. Thanks, guys, for being here. Jolie's here. Jolie's just kind of half here, in and out, because Jolie's got a very important day here, watching her daughter's roller derby match, which is on Twitch. So, hey, family first, I always say, and so enjoy yourself over there watching the game, and tell Sonny to kick some ass. Tell her Trucker John said, kick a little ass. Kick ass. Take names while you're at it. Take some names, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Carol Pax here. Hey, Carol. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's lounge today. It is now, it's 11:31 a.m. Pacific time here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are sitting at 74 degrees right now, so pretty pleasant. We're supposed to get up to 85, which is a little warm for this time of year. 5 or 6 degrees above normal, probably. Well, 5 degrees, I guess. But hey, I'll take that over those 100-degree days we just went through. So I'll take that. Mr. Spock is here. Hey, live long and prosper, you and all the chickens out there on the chicken ranch, the chicken coop. Delta Dawn, hey, Delta Dawn, hello. Thanks for joining us today. Now, today I'm here. I thought I'd do a special Friday show since I missed yesterday's show. I wasn't able to do it for our House Parks pre-show hangout that we usually do. I wasn't able to do that, so I thought, well, maybe I'll try to make up for it in some way. And so here's our special Friday edition. Gino Maynard's here. Good to see Gino. Andrew Petrie, all those young people in Arizona at Trump's rally was very disturbing. But yeah, but don't let it get you down. I think the youth is mainly it's not going to go. The youth vote isn't going to go to Trump, regardless of what you see on some videos and you see some young people in there. I don't think that's indicative of how the vote's going to go. I think Kamala Harris has done pretty well with that that demographic. Hey, Stephen Sayers is here. Good to see Stephen. Thanks for joining us. William is here. Hey, William. Mr. Bob Newell, Yo Trucker John, sup? Sup with you, Mr. Bob Newell? Mr. Bob Newell, can you hear me? No, I cannot. You need to speak louder into your keyboard. All right, there's the thumbs up so you guys can hear me. Carol Pack says boo. Getting ready for Halloween, I guess. Gina Maynard, a thumb up what? Yeah, he said thumbs up what? Mr. Fox says, hey, Gina Maynard, be cool to mail you a sample of my weed. Last review got 2 puffs on a doob and had enough. Review was 2 puffs on a doob and had enough. Is Ricky Henderson still playing? He's retired, as far as I know. He's still kicking, still breathing. I don't think he's passed away yet. Ricky, right? Ricky Henderson. But he is retired. He's old man by now. So maybe he's playing in some senior league somewhere. I don't know. I really don't know. I doubt it. He's probably just enjoying his money somewhere. Steve Sarah says Ricky Henderson can't still be playing baseball. Record setter in the 80s. Still amazing. Yeah, Steve. Mr. Bob Newell. That's his thing. He likes a joke. It's a joke, kind of a running joke, actually. Usually, the people he asks are already dead, and then I have to just say that they're in the fields of dreams, part of heaven, playing baseball. But I think Ricky's still with us. Andrew Petrie says roller derby. Is that still a thing? Yes, it's a thing. It's a huge thing, and it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. Jolie's daughters are like smashers. I don't know. What's the word? I forget all the terms, but they're having a great time over there. Fancy's back. Oh, I didn't know you left. Mr. Bob Newell, what's happening in Circus Circus? I don't know. There's all kinds of rumors. They're gonna sell. They're gonna tear it down. They're not gonna tear it down. They're gonna refurbish it or remodel it, and then they're gonna, So I don't know. I'm not sure what it's hard to keep up on that. It seems like it changes every day, so I don't know. Kevin Hawthorne, hey, Kevin Hawthorne's here. Good to see you. Good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. All righty, all the way from Florida. Be careful out there. I don't know if there's any more storms are brewing right now, but make sure you're stocked up and have a go bag or whatever you need. Keep some supplies on hand. Aaron West says, we have a roller derby team here in North Carolina, too. Well, there you go. Fancy says, I like roller derby. They should bring it back. You mean like on TV and stuff like that, like when they had that. But they do have leagues all over the country, apparently, because Erin has one in her town, and Jolie's daughters play. They've been playing for years, actually, in the leagues, the roller derby leagues. Hey, Robert Perez is here. Robert says, top of the morning. See you, Trucker John, and only Democratic voters have a great day, I guess. Repubs can eat shit. Well, you tell him, Robert. Robert's not playing today. Robert is just going right to it. All right, Robert. Thanks for being here, though. Aaron West, can everybody see me? I can see your name. I see you. Fancy sees you. Mad Max sees you. Let's see here now. Let's see here. What's going on here? Oh, Aaron says, I'm still in my PJs. I hope you can't see me. Well, I was gonna remark on those. I was gonna say, look, boy, this is nice PJs you got, but then I wasn't sure. I was like, are those really PJs? Maybe they just look like PJs. Minus Kevin says, Steven, Mr. Spock, Fancy Foghorn is taking control. Here we have a chicken update from Mr. Spock. Raises chickens and things of this nature. And most of these are names of this chicken. So little Jerry Seinfeld, that's a chicken, is shaking up with Dark Knight and Bright Eyes. Those are all chickens. It's bizarre. Fancy Foghorn doesn't know what to do. Wow. Mayhem in the chicken coop, ladies and gentlemen. Mad Mac, I'm starting to drag. I had to get up at 3 a.m. for the worldwide conference call. Oh, wow. What conference call was that for or about? Robert Perez, I wish Steve Garvey wasn't a Republican. He was a childhood hero of mine. Now he's a dick. Yeah, he was my favorite baseball player for a long time. I mean, once Willie Davis retired, then Steve Garvey was my favorite. And as far as baseball goes, all-time great, one of the all-time great Dodgers of all time. And as a baseball player, as a Dodger, I still respect him, and I still have great fond memories of watching him play. But yeah, now he's a Republican, and so on the non-baseball side of it, fuck him. He's an asshole. And plus he's also come out that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there was ever any like abuse allegations, things like that, but I know he played around a lot, had a lot of affairs, which is, hey, if you're just having affairs and that's up to you, that's your thing. I'm not going to judge you too much for that, but then if you want to try to have this sort of wholesome, goody image, but then it comes out that you were just chasing every skirt in town in LA. It's a bit of a more hypocrisy, right? I mean, I think he tried to always have this kind of squeaky clean image. So that's the thing that I'm talking about. As far as people hooking up and going out and having affairs and having sex, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. But if you're gonna try to run as this like Mr. Squeaky Clean, never do anything like that, and then you're doing like that, I guess it should be brought out since he's running for Senate. I think Adam Schiff's gonna clean his clock, but nevertheless. Mr. Bob Newell, I dated a roller derby lady. She was hot. I immediately flashed in my mind images of Raquel Welch in, what was it, Kansas City Bomber or Kansas City Roller? I guess Kansas City Bomber, I guess. That doesn't sound right. That would sound like it's about a bomber. Kansas City Roller. Was it Kansas City Roller? Whatever it was, it was a roller derby movie that she made, and god damn it, that was Raquel Welch in her prime. Freaking A. And I think I was like 12 or 13 when that came out. It was right at that time, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right at that time when the bra section of the Sears Roebuck catalog could cause instant stiffy. You know what I mean? Anyhow. Minus Kevin, I have fancy, chicken with a bite. Oh, about jerk chicken. I think we have one of those in Vegas. Non-useful's here. It says, hey, Chugger. Hey, non-useful. Thanks for coming on into the driver's lounge. Good to see you. Hang out with us for a little while. We're just going to have a hangout. Now, I might have to get up. I scheduled a grocery delivery, and the only window I could get was between 12 and 2 my time. And I was planning on doing this from about 11 or so to 1. We started a little late because Hal was going late. I was just waiting for Hal Sparks to finish his show. So anyhow, maybe 11:30 to 1:30. So there's a good chance I might be getting a knock at the door sometime during the show. I know that's probably not good form, but I might have to get up and unlock the door and get my groceries. since I am still carless right now, so I have to do a delivery service, which actually is only pretty cheap. I mean, since I don't have a car, I could Uber to the store, and it would cost me probably, I bet you at least. I didn't check the price, and then it kind of depends on the surge pricing. But yesterday I was out walking around. I was checking out the prices, and it would have been like, I think it was almost $15 or $20 for me to Uber to the bank, and then back. So it would have been close to $40 with the tips and everything. It'd be probably over $40 just to go back and forth to the bank. So in the store where I shop, well, I guess with delivery they can go anywhere. I'm pretty sure they're going to the store that's down the street. It would probably be maybe a little bit cheaper because it's a little bit closer, but you're looking at least $30, round trip. $30, $35, maybe close to 40. I guess it depends on the surge pricing and if there's any surge pricing or in the tipping and all that stuff. So we're looking at anywhere between $30 and $40 probably just for the Uber to go to the store. So through the Albertsons app, I went ahead and I, put all my things I want to get out on the list, on the app, and then to have it delivered, it was only $5.95 delivery charge, and then they had a $4 tip, and I just left that on there, and then I just figured I'll tip some more in cash when the person comes here. I'll give them another, 10 ski or something. I don't know, but so I guess so far that would be that'd be $10. It's $10 for the delivery charge and the tip. That's what I've already paid for. That's $10. And then if I tip them extra another $5 or $10, then so it'll be $15 to $20, let's say. So that's still, I think, almost like half of what it would cost me if I went to Uber. I mean, if I Ubered over, and all that. So anyhow, let's see. Walter Makarovich says, "Good morning, good morning." Mad Mac had a conference call for work. Yeah, they got factories in Spain, Taiwan, China, all this kind of stuff. So Mad Mac had to get up early for that. Mad Mac says roller derby has jammers, blockers, and pivots for positions. That's what they are. Let's see. Mike Williams is here. I'm just scrolling back a little bit because as I was talking, this was scrolling. Yeah, Mike Bomber. Hey, how's things, Bomber? Things are going good, Boomer. I'm the Boomer. So there's Walter McCavish saying, "Good morning, Trucker John. Sorry, I've been catching up on my doctor's appointments. It's been a while, but I have one question. Can you please tell me what Hitler has done good?" Said by Trump. Nothing. No, nothing. That's nothing whatsoever. He was a waste of oxygen. A waste of anything that any other living being could have used. But Donald Trump's an idiot, so of course he's going to say shit like that. Apparently he loves Hitler. I don't know. Andrew Petrie, Josh Hawley's native name is Runs with Fist. I think his native name is Twinkle Toes. I don't know. Bad Mac would like to remind you that Holly is a total pussy-ass bitch. Yeah. Not mincing words today, are we? Let's see. Kansas City Bomber. So that was the name of the movie. I don't think you can get away with a movie like that today. With all this like terrorism and shit. People will probably think it was like something to do with terrorism or something. Walter Makarovich, Trucker John, try Enterprise car sales if you're still looking. No, you can't do that. It has to be tied to Uber. I mean, if I'm doing it for Uber, if I could just rent a car, but I'd rather not. I'd rather, I'm just gonna wait until I can get back on with Uber. And the Uber only has it set up with Avis. I mean, with Hertz. They had Avis on there, but it disappeared. So I don't know what's going on with that. And then they've got these other little flunky kind of like internet companies, and I've tried to get rent through them, and it's just a shit show. So I'm just going to stick with Hertz, and just waiting for cars to get available. Every time I make an appointment, then it's like the car's not available. So maybe not until next week. Maybe, I don't know. WW said, "Hey, WW's here." W says, "I have a Walgreens half a mile away, a grocery store less than a mile. I can walk as long as I don't buy too much." Well, that's the thing. I could walk too, but then you got to cart the shit back, and I don't have a little cart. If I had a little cart, then yeah, maybe that would work. Like a little, you see people that have those carts on wheels. That would work. But hey, I figured for $10 to have them deliver it, and all, that's the delivery and the tip. Like I said, I'm going to pay a little extra on the tip, but I think it's a good deal. Nick Rich says, "I spent $225 for a round trip on transit today, 2 hour." Yeah, well, taking the bus doesn't work. Again, you got to haul. I'm not going to haul all my groceries on the bus, and it's sort of like the distance to the store is. It's probably like a mile away, I think. Probably about a mile to Albertsons. I don't even know the bus schedules. I don't even know like where it stops. I mean, I guess it stops near there. I don't even know. But when it's that close, it's probably better just to walk. And like I said, unless I had some, and if I've taken a bus, I can't really bring the cart with me. If I had one of those rolling little cart things. Yeah, so it's a big hassle. Guys, come on. It's easier for me just to have Albertsons deliver it to me for $6. Come on. Mr. Bob Newell, is it okay to smoke marijuana during Truckers on Show? In the privacy of your own, wherever you're at, you can do whatever you want, Mr. Bob Newell. In the privacy of your own home. I don't care what you do. Steve Sayers, as long as you're in public. WW, I'm a boomer too. Yep, you sure are. Mad Mac, I did that for a while. Plastic bags cut into your hands whilst walking, unless you bring home marshmallows and bread. Yeah, the plastic bags and all that stuff. Or you can get those reusable bags that are they're a little heavier duty. They have little handles on them. That might be a little easier. But then, I guess they're bigger or just as big as a plastic bag. But yeah, anyhow. Blue Boomer. WW, Hitler united Germany after they lost a devastating war. That was a good thing? Is that W saying that was the good thing that he did? He unified Germany? Which led to him taking over and turning Germany against the world? Maybe that wasn't a good thing. Maybe unifying Germany wasn't a good thing. After all, we're allowed to let hindsight. At this point, we're there's no rules against hindsight here. I bought more than would fit in a backpack. Okay, I bought like a week's worth of groceries at least. Probably more, I guess. I don't know. Mike Williams, I cast my radical left enemy within blue vote yesterday morning. Felt great. All right. So I guess that means you voted. I was trying to think. My radical left enemy. But yeah, thanks for voting. Thanks for voting. That's a good thing. Everybody get your ballots in if you can. Get them in. And let's do that. Let's get this thing going. James Williams is here. James says, you don't have Tilden or Enterprise trucker drone. Okay, look, if you're talking about rental cars, you don't understand. This is for driving with Uber. You can't just get any old rental car and rent from Uber. It has to be through Uber, and they have it set up with these companies like Hertz, and like I said, there's like these ones that are online. The cars are all pre-approved. They're all pre-inspected. So all you got to do is you just put in the identifying numbers for that vehicle, and boom, it's on the app and you're good to go. You can just start working right then. You can't just go rent a vehicle at Tilden or Enterprise and then try to put it into the Uber app. It won't work. It has to be inspected. And when you go to they do have inspection sites here all around town, or they have one in town, I think. But it has to be inspected by a certified Uber inspector, and they will ask for your registration and your insurance. And when you do that, they'll see that it's rented by Enterprise, that it's a rental, and it's not one of their rentals. They will not pass the inspection. They will not pass the inspection because it has to be a vehicle. Either it has to be in my name that I own and I have registration and proof of insurance, or you can go through Uber where they have Hertz. It's all set up with their vehicles. They're all pre-inspected. They are all insured. They are all registered, and it's all boom, 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 wham, bam, bam. So I cannot just go down the street and rent at any place. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to keep repeating that. Anyhow, so answer to your question is no. Walter McCarver says, yeah, I know you would say that about Trump, but yet the MAGA cult sits with him and agrees with his every move. That's because they are brainwashed cultists. WW says there is an old lady in the neighborhood that is always walking around with her cart. I think she uses it to steady herself. Well, yeah, it could be, multi-purpose there. Steady yourself, and also she can maybe haul some shit around. I don't know. Fancy Albertsons is too expensive. Use Amazon. Well, but I could, but I shop at Albertsons. It's the one I go to. It's down the street. I don't know. I get good deals on there, but I could check Amazon. I have an Amazon Prime membership or whatever. So, yeah, I didn't really even think about it. I just think of groceries. I think of Albertsons or Vons. Fancy says, not me. I'll go hungry first. Laughing out loud. I'd like to use a cart. You would not use the cart. WW says, I'm not supposed to drink beer anymore. Irritates my gout. No one asked. No one asked you about your beer drink, if you could drink beer or not. I don't think, unless I missed it in the chat. Fancy tells W should eat lots of cherries. I guess that's good for the gout. Hey, there's Mike H. Good to see Mike H. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by here in the driver's lounge. Putin's puppy is here. Says go Dodgers. Yes, absolutely. They play tonight. Game 1 World Series is tonight in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium. Really hope we win these first 2 games. Rest in peace, Fernando Valenzuela, by the way. And but yeah, let's make sure that we put out lots of good thoughts for the Dodgers, not the hated, vile Yankees. All right. Midas Kevin says fancy cherries are so very, very good. Non-Useful says Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon has recommended sentencing for Lyle and Eric Menendez, who are serving life prison without parole. We are going to recommend to the court on Friday that the life without possibility of parole be removed, and they would be sentenced for murder. I don't get it. Why do they want it removed? I don't get it. Why do they want the life without the possibility of parole to be removed? I don't understand that. WW trying to do meatless Fridays, going to make fettuccine alfredo for supper. Meatless Fridays, that doesn't the alliteration isn't there. It's supposed to be meatless Mondays. Hey, Can't Stop Lines here. Hey, Can't Stop Line. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping on in. Says, I hope you're having a lovely day, John. Had Instacart deliver my groceries an hour ago. I walk sometimes 1.5 miles, but most times the time savings is just worth it. Yeah, like I said, if I had one of those little rolling cart things, I would maybe I would do that. But since I don't, Mr. Bob Newell, can we see your groceries when it arrives? No, probably not. Probably not. I don't feel like moving all this stuff and everything. Minus Kevin says, fancy, eat too many cherries like horror movie, turn into cherry. Oh, yeah, you'll just turn into a cherry. Gina Maynard, member for 5 months. Adolf removed himself. That was good. Hey, Gino, thanks for being a member for 5 months. That's great. You're one of the ones who've been around for probably when we first started doing the memberships. So thank you so much for that. Fancy says, yeah, go easy on the cherries. Nick Rich is saying hi, or using these emojis to Can't Stop Line. I'm not good at emojis. It looks like maybe love or hearts, and it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. So I guess Nick Rich is telling Can't Stop Line to love jack-o'-lanterns, I guess. And then a friendly wave, with a friendly wave. All right. But thanks, CSL, for being here. Good to see you. And Nick Rich, thank you for being here, as always. Nick Non-Useful says, $5,000 would get you a very nice vehicle. Well, yeah, I don't know about 5,000, but yeah, I mean, I could get a used car. And I could get a used Tesla. If I get a vehicle and I want to use it for Uber, I want to use the Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. And I think I could probably do this with the Mach-E, also the Ford Mach-E, which I'm thinking about starting maybe to look into that. I'm really liking those more and more, and I really want to get away from Tesla. But here's why I'd rather have a Tesla, because you get better rides. You know, they have what's called the Uber X, which is the lowest paying. Then they have Uber Comfort, which pays a little bit more, and then they have Uber Premium, which is like the top of the line. And with the Model 3, I can get Uber Premium rides and I can get Uber Comfort rides, and they pay a lot more, and it's worth it. It's worth, and not even doing Uber X. I just make it where, because you have options and you can as to which rides you'll pick up, and I'll just turn the Uber X one off and just do all Comfort and all Premium. And even if I might have a 5 or 10 minute wait, because if I have it on Uber X and in Las Vegas, it's nonstop. It doesn't stop. But, and I've tried, and this bears out. The numbers bear out. Even if I have a 5 or 10 minute wait, sometimes between rides, let's say, I'll still make more money waiting for the Comfort and waiting for the Premium. And if I just get some old $5,000 car, I can't do the Comfort or the Premium. I'll just get the X's, and which pays, and it's pretty significant. It's at least a $10 an hour less that you make if you can't do the Comfort and the Premium rides. Plus, you get they have a really good EV bonus that you get every month. It's like a $210 bonus every month if you meet the I guess the criteria for that bonus. And it's always, if you could do 200 rides in for the month, or basically it's I think it's like 5 weeks or whatever, and which I do every single time. That's not hard to do. If you're driving every day, it's not hard to do. It takes a couple weeks to do it or whatever. Then you'll get, and as soon as you get that bonus, it doesn't have to be the end of the month or whatever. As soon as you make the bonus, boom, you get the $210. So, and that's only for EVs. Gas powered, they're not doing that because they're trying to incentivize drivers using EVs. So yeah, $5,000, I could get a car I don't know if it'd be even reliable for Uber to do driving every single night either. So what I like about the rental, it's all, these are new cars, relatively new. I mean, 1, 2, 3 years old. If anything goes wrong with them, you just take it back to Hertz, or they come pick it up and they'll just swap you out a new car or another car, and they'll take that one off to the shop to make repairs or whatever they do with them. So anyhow, Fancy says Sugar's Run is particular. It's not that I'm particular. It's that's the rules. I mean, that's the way it's set up. It's set up to. I mean, it won't work any other way. It's not that I'm particular. That's the way it is. CSL says, Nick Rich, hi Nick. I see you send me love every day in the chat. Thank you very much. I'll love you very much. And then CSL has looks like smiling, and I don't know if that's a hug, and then some sort of an orange heart, I guess. I'm not good at CSL. I am not good at reading emoji, just so you know. WW says World War II modernized Europe. We were talking about carrying heavier stuff home from the grocery store. Yes, we were, and yes, it did. Nick Rich says, grateful for all your efforts. I believe that's talking to CSL. I don't think he's talking about me. Pretty sure he's talking to CSL on that one. Let's see here. WW says, NPR said that they could get out immediately on time served. Oh, I thought it was life without possibility of parole. WW, one of the boys was sexually abused by his dad, Eric, I think. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if that excuses what they did. Fancy, my green screen just arrived. Oh, there. Now how does it work? Well, now you got to figure out how to work it. Yeah. I stopped using mine because I have it. It's right over here against the wall. I stopped using mine because it was, for some reason, it was getting like I couldn't get the corners to like not kind of fade out for some reason, and it seemed like it worked fine. Before, I don't know. So then I switched to just doing this lovely background with my beautiful hand-drawn graphics. Aaron's going to go to a work meeting. Well, that's perfectly fine. You go have your work meeting. Mr. Bob Newell, 3 p.m. It's 12:06 here in beautiful downtown Las Vegas. Nick Rich, emojis are easy to understand if you can see them big enough. That's true. I am, it is kind of small for me. Hey, Chad Bostic is here. It says, Chad Bostic, I am Mike H. WW, the Mustang EV that I like cost about $70K. Yeah, that's the thing too. I could get a Model 3, a brand new one, for after the federal tax credits and all that, for probably what, 32, 33,000. But I think, and I have never driven a Mustang EV or even sat in one, but I think the Mach-E's are better than the Model 3 probably, and at least in terms of roominess, and they are more like a Model Y. And so compare, I guess if you're going to compare Tesla to a Mustang Mach-E, I guess you should compare it with the Model Y. And the Model Ys, they're about, depending, they have the high performance ones, the we call them premiums or whatever. Those are like $50K. You can get a long range, probably like 45. I think you can get a standard Model Y for like low 40s. And then if the federal tax credit, if you get one that has the right battery and all that kind of shit, you could probably get one for less than 40, probably like 35 or something. I don't know. I haven't really checked into all the prices because they kind of go up and down a lot. But you could get definitely a Model Y, even the top of the line Model Y, the premier ones. I guess I call it premier, not premier. What do they call them? Premium. I guess it's premium. Those are the fastest ones. I think they got dual motors and everything is upgraded on it. Those are around 50 grand, so it's still 20 grand cheaper than the Mach-E. But like I say, I would like to at least go test drive a Mach-E, like if I make a purchase on a Y. At least I would like to at least drive one. That's why I was hoping when I saw the Avis link on the Uber app, and they had a picture of a Mach-E. and I was hoping maybe I could rent one of those. But then when I went to do it, the link just disappeared. It was gone. So I don't know what that's all about. Steven Sayers, Rivian. Yeah, Rivians look really nice. They're expensive, 80, 90 grand and up. I'm not sure if they have a model. They might have a model in the 70s, maybe. But those are nice cars. A little too expensive for me. Like I was saying earlier, I was starting to say I could buy a used Model Y or used Model 3 that's maybe 2 or 3 years old and has, maybe you could find one with 40 or 50,000 miles on it, and you could probably get it like mid to upper 20s, 25,000, 26,000. At least that's the some of the asking prices that you see on those. Or you might be able to find one for cheaper than that, low 20s. Sometimes people say they find them in the teens, but those are, I think, really old. Those are like, and really high miles. And so if you're using this for Uber, which is what I'm doing, you don't want one that's too old, because then it'll age out. At least for the premium rides and the comfort rides, it can't be more than 6 years old. If you're just doing the Uber X, it could be 15 years old. But like I said, I'm doing this because I want to do the comfort rides and the premium rides, because they pay a lot more, and it's significant enough where it's worth it, I think. And so if I were to buy a used one, I would want it to not be older than probably 3 years old, and I wouldn't want it to have over 50,000 miles on it. And so you're looking at probably at least 25,000 or 26, 27,000. Maybe you could find one in the lower 20s. So you're going to be paying that kind of money for that, probably. And I'm just kind of think, well, and I would probably have to finance it. I don't have the cash to lay down on it. I would have to finance it. So if I'm going to finance $26,000 loan, I mean, I might as well get a Model Y that I really want. And after the federal tax credit, maybe it goes down to 36,000 or something, and and finance a $36,000 Model Y that I would really want, rather than a $26,000 Model 3 that I think are too small for me, actually, and too small, actually, I think, for Ubering when you're doing a lot of pickups at the airport or even hotels, and people have lots of luggage. The luggage fits a lot better in a Model Y than a Model 3. So, for $10,000 more, and I don't think that would make much difference as far as trying to get finance for it, I would rather get a brand new Model Y rather than a used Model 3. Anyhow, I know this is probably boring talk here, but yeah, the Rivians are nice. I've never driven one. I did have an appointment to drive one, but then now I don't have the car, so I had to cancel that appointment because they were doing test drives. I think in Henderson somewhere at a dealership. But I'll do that again. They're going to start doing Lucid's doing test drives. Those are $100,000. They look like beautiful vehicles. Those are like $100K. I can't afford a $100,000 car, but I wouldn't mind test driving one and maybe filming it, putting it on YouTube. But Lucid's doing those, and Rivian's doing those, and I would like to do a Mach-E test drive. So maybe just for the hell of it. And out of those, the only one that would be maybe feasible to get would be a Mach-E, but that at 70,000, or even if I guess they do have different packages. W was talking about 70,000. I think they have some. You could go lower. I think you could probably go down into the 40s or 50s. Actually, now I think about it, if you get more of a stripped down model and ones that aren't as fast and all that kind of stuff. So you could look into. I could look into a Mach-E, and that, I guess, it's still price wise is more comparable to the Model Y. But anyhow, so that's the things on that. My Discovery says, I know the story about jack-o'-lanterns, and it's rather weird. Wow. I think I have heard stuff like that about that too. W says that the Tesla S used low miles, 220 or better, 50 to 90,000. Yeah, a Model S, that's another thing. I always forget about the Model S, actually, as far as like doing it for Uber. I wouldn't mind looking into a Model S. I'd have to drive it, see how I like it, if it feels roomy enough, if the luggage seems, I guess it's a big back trunk area because you could put seats in there, or you could just leave it open for like storage, like a hatchback, or I guess it's a trunk or a hatchback, whatever it is. But I'd have to really look at that and drive it around and feel it. But for the price, again, I think the Model Y comes in at the good price there. Non-useless as the final decision. Oh, we're talking about the whatchamacallits. Hey, look, I don't give a fuck, really. They're awful people, and I have a feeling that they're going to be spending their lives, the rest of their lives in prison. I don't think they're going to be getting out. So, and if they do, I guess watch out for them or something. I don't know. Hey, Nick Rich, give today's membership, and look who got it. WW. Thank you, Nick Rich. Thanks so much for doing that. I do appreciate it, as always. Jolie's here at halftime. Hey, so what's the score? Who's winning? I hope it's your daughter's team. Are they called the Dodgers? Or the Rams? Your daughter's team, they should name it to either Dodgers or Rams. I'm just kidding. I know. I hate those. MJ Daniel, I got a ride in a Polestar not long ago. It was pretty nice, and I saw a Rivian SUV the other day. Don't know about them, but it was cool looking. Yeah, the Rivians look cool. The Polestars, I think the Polestars look cool. They look okay. I drove one for a week. I didn't like it. It just wasn't for me. It was too small, too cramped, too tight. But it was well made and drove nice. So Hey, Chad Bostic is here. Says I'm still holding my 608 shares of DJT that I bought for $14.92. Nick, and holding till the election. At some point, they might just become so worthless that they will just be keepsakes, maybe. Mr. Malduo, my weed delivery driver drives a Porsche, as one would. If you're a weed delivery person, it's probably appropriate. MJ Daniel Polestar ad showed something like $6.99 a month, though kind of steep. Yeah, Polestars. Yeah, I don't know what they go for, but that's why I think the Model 3 and the Model Y are really priced really well. But Perez says, "Hey Johnny, how about the Rams last night? That was fucking awesome, Robert. I mean, the Vikings, they came in, I think they lost last week to Detroit, right? At the last seconds of that game, and the Vikings got off to a 4-0 start. Then they lose in the last seconds of the game. I think it was to Detroit. So, and the Rams, of course, have been having troubles, but they're coming off a win off of beating the Raiders last week. And the Raiders aren't that great of a team, but we're like, so what? We only had one win all year. Like, what, we were 1-3? Or, were we 1-3? Yeah, I guess. And we beat the Raiders to go to 2-3. Or I guess we were 1-4. Okay. Then we were 2-4. And so now the Vikings are coming into town, and Vikings have been one of the best teams this year so far. But they did come off a loss. But you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a really tough game. And it started off as being kind of a back and forth, almost like a little shootout there. Vikings scored, and then the Rams scored, and they went back and forth. So it was like 14-14. I believe the Rams scored did the Rams score the field goal before the half and go up? Were the Rams up 17-14? I mean, it's 17-14. I think that's what it was. But anyhow, so the Rams ended up winning. They got their two big receivers, receivers back, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. And man, what a difference it made. I mean, the offense hasn't looked as good all year. And just getting those two guys back, it looked really good. The defense was a little shaky at first, but the defense got some good stops in there and were able to stop them when they could do it. And The Rams walk away with a 10-point victory. I think that's awesome. So now they're 3-4, and like 10 games to go, I guess. So they're and everybody. I think Seattle is in first place in the division. What is their record? Like 5-1 or something. And then everybody else is 3-4. The Rams, the Niners, and the Cardinals are all 3-4. So the Rams are right in it, man. Everyone was like tearing their hair out and renting their clothing or whatever. And Rams are still right in there, man. And they've got their big weapons back. So I think they've got a good shot making the playoffs. Maybe winning their division. Chad says, "You're right, Nick. It made me about $16,000 profit so far. I'm only bringing it up because you roasted me when I said I took that position. You should have joined me." James Williams, new Tesla batteries are expensive, but I think they've come down. I know that people were saying like one of the drawbacks about it is when the battery pack goes out, you have to replace it, and people were quoting prices of like $20,000 and $25,000. And recently, I've seen people I don't know how accurate it is, but I've seen people quoting prices of like 13,000 and 11,000. So, and also I've seen that people really aren't having to replace the battery packs like they thought they would. That they are getting really good longevity out of them, and with not very much what do you call it, depletion or whatever. It's only you're only losing even after a few years of use. They're only losing 2 or 3% of their original capacity, which is really good. It's really better than what people were warning against originally. MJ Daniels, Seattle still in first place, but I'm out. No, yeah, not by much. W says Mustang EV is almost exactly like a Y. Jolie says, Andrew Petrie, if it's a stream you like and watch a lot, anyway, I would. I guess about being a mod. Yeah, that's good advice, Jolie. Yeah, if you watch it a lot and you like it. WW says 60 to 70, I guess, thousand for the Mach-E. Chad Box says, everyone in here is getting friends and family out to vote. Yeah, I think so. PB's here. Hey, PB, good to see you. It says they don't go up and down that much. I guess we're talking about prices. Yeah, they were kind of going for a while there. They were doing this kind of back and forth thing, but I guess it's sort of stabilized lately. WW, the S new is like 120K. Actually, I think those are down. I don't think they're. I think they're under 100 now for the S's. I think the only thing over 100 now is the X, and those were going for 130, and I think those are down to like 110 now or something like that. But I haven't checked it lately, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. PB, the best car you can find the best car you can that reduces your carbon footprint. Yeah, exactly. Even there's a lot of good hybrids. If like I tell people, if you're not ready to go into a full EV, find a good hybrid. Prius is a great hybrid, and there's a lot of hybrids out there, and that's a good sort of stepping stone to it, or I have no problem with hybrids. PB says, and the cost of replacing the battery is high. Well, I just went over that, and those prices are coming down, and they are getting really long life out of those batteries. W says 2021 Tesla Model S long range all-wheel drive, 38,891. I don't know, and then 41 plus taxes and fees, probably close to 50K. That's for a used. I guess that's the mileage, 38,000. Hey, Chad Bogwood, $10. Thank you so much, Chad. I just saw that. Says everyone get out and vote. Take a friend or a family member or both. Yes, absolutely. Make sure you vote. Get your ballots in. If you have early voting, or if you, I know a lot of people like to wait till the day of. Fine, just don't forget, or don't have something come up where you can't get in. That's what's good about early voting. You can do it. You can get it over with, and your vote's in, and you can track your votes now, and you know when they receive it, you know when they count it, or when it's ready. It's in the place where it's going to be counted or whatever. But yeah, thank you, Chad. Thank you so much for that support of the show and for that reminder. WW, I would like to have have even fewer miles. Well, yeah, of course. Gino says the Marquis resisted Nazis and the Kardashians. No, it's not Kardashians. Kardashians. I don't know. But they probably would resist the Kardashians too. WW Big Hawk scaring away the birds. Yeah, well, they're the rulers of the roost, so to speak. Non-useful says Acura 2024 ZDX Premium all electric SUV $389 a month for 27-month lease. That sounds like a pretty good deal. I wonder what the mileage restrictions are on that. I could lease a Model Y through Tesla. And the highest one they have for your mileage that you can do before you get pinged on it is, I think, 15,000. They have I think they have 10 and 15,000 mile. I thought there was a third one. I don't think it was over 15,000. I think 15, but I thought 10 was the lowest. So I don't know. Maybe there's a one between 10 and 15. And it's they have a deal. I think it's like $299 a month for a Model Y. So I'm thinking about doing that, and then I would just have to really watch my mileage. I really want American made. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Me too. And union made would be nice too. Tesla's not union. Hey, Tamara Price is here. Good to see Tamara. Thanks for hanging out with us over here in the old driver's lounge. Midas Kevin Anderson says, Trucker, did you hear Trucker's rant last night? Oh, Tucker's rant, not Trucker's rant. I was listening to it from Hal's show. And I think it was a bunch of horse shit. Oh, Jolie says, game back on, switching back to lurking. They are down by 2 points. Well-matched teams. They keep having lead changes. Exciting game. Well, good luck, Jolie, on your daughter's team there. I hope they really come out on top. W says Elon said that he would bail out DJT. Yeah, well, he's proven himself to be a fucking weirdo. I mean, beyond weird. I mean, he's I don't know. He's becoming a Putin puppet himself, I think, which I don't understand. If you're the richest man in the world, I thought if you're the richest man in the world, that would give you the ability to tell some people just to fuck off. But I guess he's just one of them. He wants to be one of them or something. I don't know. Non-useful Chevrolet El Camino EV25. Man, oh man, I think you may have mentioned that before. I would love to. I didn't check into it. If there's any sort of renderings of that, or if they have any photos of it, I'll have to look that up. I know I saw somewhere, it was a few months ago, I saw a YouTube video or something where they had I think it was a Dodge Charger. It was a Charger or a Challenger, and it was an EV, and it looked fucking awesome. Mad Mac says Seahawks baby, Fancy Chargers fan. Well, Fancy, your Chargers kind of let us down the other day, or last week, when they couldn't beat the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm a little disappointed in your Chargers. Let's see. WW says Kamala is as American as anybody. She sure is. I would even say she's more American than Trump, because Trump wants to be a fucking Russian dictator, I think. Minus Kevin says, yeah, Tucker didn't know that last night. Heck, I was waiting for his head to fall off. Laughing out loud. Tamara Price. Hey, Tamara Price says, Pamela, my dear, I am all okay today. That counts, I think. Well, good to see you, Tamara. Glad you're here. PB says, we need battery recharging stations that swap out batteries. We need a lot of stuff, whether it's more charging stations and I mean, you can do a quick charge. You could do a 10-minute charge. You don't need to sit there and do a full charge. Like if you're running around town, if they had charging stations on every corner like they have gas stations, you could go in, hook up, go inside. If you have to use the restroom, use the restroom. You know, go have a convenience store. If you want to buy a cup of coffee or a soda or buy a snack, you could do that. By the time you do that, you go back out to the car. It's been charging for 10 minutes. That would probably give you all the juice you would need for the rest of your running around for that day. You know, so it's not like you gotta sit there for an hour, or even if it's a supercharger, you know, to get a full charge from, let's say you're down to 30% and you want to go to 95% or 98% or even 100%, even though they say not to do that all the time. But just for, you know, this example, let's say you go from 30 to 100 at a supercharger, it might take you 40 minutes, maybe 30 if it's really fast charger and there's no one else there that's sort of sharing the same unit that you're using or whatever. But about 40 minutes, okay. You don't need to do that. Like I said, you could go and charge for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, however long it takes you to go inside, use the restroom, grab a snack, grab a Coke or a coffee, whatever, energy drink, and walk back to your car. Let's say you went in there at 25%. By the time you did that, you'd probably be back to at least 50 or 60%. And that's all you need. If you're just going to go to the store or go back home or go to work or whatever, it's probably all you need. It's not like you have to sit there and charge it to 100% every time you hook up to a charger, is what my point is. And a lot of drivers do that, especially I see a lot of Uber drivers. They're driving throughout the day, they're getting low, and they still want to work a few more hours, so they'll go to a charger station, hook up for 10 minutes, get another 100 miles worth of juice or whatever, boom, they're back out on the road. You don't need to sit there for 40 minutes. It's not as hard as people make it out to be. It really isn't. And once you start doing it, people will learn all the ins and outs of it, you know. Hey, Teresa TAK is here. Good to see Teresa. Thanks for jumping in the chat. You guys make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I really do appreciate that. I know we're getting into Randy Rhoads time, but I guess that's the way it goes, because usually I'm watching Randy Rhoads right now. So, but thank you guys for choosing me. The guys, you've chosen me over Randy Rhoads, and I feel quite proud of that. PB says, yes, the tech is improving. Yeah, and like I've said before, we are still at the infancy stages of electric vehicles. And we are going to see so many improvements every year. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to look back at this time and we will laugh. We will scoff. It'll be so much more improved in the next 5 to 10 years. This is going to look like horse and buggy days compared to what we're going to be seeing over the next decade. Andrew says, "Oh, they're talking about Teresa as a new mod. I'll always let always to spam the channel. I'll probably let you spam the channel, I guess. Let's see. PB says, I want the best, least polluting tech, no matter who makes it. Well, I don't know. If Putin made it, I don't know if I'd want it. PBR, and actually, you know, I just read a story. I was just reading a little news article. I wonder if I still have it saved somewhere. But it was about the environment and, you know, global warming. And I don't know if I'll be able to find it or not on my iPad. But it's about how we are pretty much not necessarily past the point of no return, but we are at a point where we're not going to be able to stop the warming like anytime soon. You know what I mean? Unless the way they framed it, I can't find it on here, is that it would take a quantum leap of changing what we're doing. You know, and I don't see that happening, unfortunately. We're just really going at this at a snail's pace. Snail's pace. So PB, yeah, you're right. I mean, the environment is on the line, and we need to get off of, you know, the greenhouse gas emissions. That's what's happening. So just eliminating tailpipe emissions is really like half the battle. If we could get all of our, even if it was just all of our normal everyday like passenger vehicles, not even counting big rigs and all, and, you know, and all this stuff, but even just all the passenger vehicles, if we could get those to having zero tailpipe emissions, I mean, that would mean so much. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be everything right now. It doesn't have to be where we, you know, diesel trucks and airplanes and heavy equipment, you know, earth moving equipment and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying eventually down the road we can get that, but right now we have some pretty good tech and pretty good vehicles, and just for our everyday normal, you know, consumer vehicles or whatever you want to call it, passenger vehicles, we could pretty much switch that over from being, you know, fueled by fossil fuels, powered by fossil fuels, to electricity. We could do that pretty quickly, very quickly if we wanted to. I mean, within the next couple of years, if we really, really wanted to. Of course, there's lots of resistance. There's lots of people that don't want to do it. There's all kinds of political whatever that gets in the way of that. But I think theoretically we could switch over all of our passenger vehicles to electric within a year or two. Just have like a buyback program. Everyone brings in their old fossil fuel cars, and you know, maybe get some check for it, and have a program to get into either new or used EVs. And I'm not saying electric vehicles will always be the thing, but it's what we have now, and it would eliminate tailpipe emissions, and that's a huge part of it. But like some people talk about hydrogen fuel cells, and that some people talk about this or that and the other. There might be some other thing, but I think the quickest way right now to get us off of fossil fuels and to do it, at least for passenger vehicles, is with the EVs. And I think we could do that within let's say 2 or 3 years. I think we could switch over to where instead of 3% of the vehicles on the road are EVs today, or whatever it is, I don't really know what it is, but It's a low number, I'm sure. If we could flip that so that it was 97% of the vehicles on the road are EVs, at least passenger vehicles. I'm not talking trucks and stuff like that, like big diesel, like big 18-wheelers, and I'm not talking that. I'm just talking about your basic passenger vehicles, cars, sedans, even minivans, whatever. We could flip it over, I think, within the next 2 or 3 years. And if we did that, that would be huge. Just in the tailpipe emissions elimination of it. That would be so huge. Huge. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on that. Freevent28, Putin is the wealthiest, no doubt. So, hi, Freevent28, by the way. Good to see you. Thanks for being here and joining us in the driver's lounge. You think Putin is wealthier than Musk? Tim Farrell's here. Commanders. Hey, Tim Farrell, good to see you, one of our resident Tims. I haven't seen the other Tim in a while. But Tim Farrell, I believe, is a big Commanders fan. And are they still undefeated? I think they're still undefeated. Jeff Curry's here. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Janelle Walker is here. Hey, Janelle. A lot of people coming in. Midas Kevin says, Trucker, that was weird last night in Tucker's rant when he goes, this Carmilla chick or whatever her name isn't even Indian. I was about to bust him up. He's disgusting. Yeah, he's just your typical disgusting Republic thug. Tony TB's here, made it. What's K? Hey, Tony TB, good to see you. Thanks for being here. PB says, take care, all you lovelies. We're between a rock and a hard place. Vote blue and push them left. Yes, absolutely. Vote blue for all that's dear to you. Trademark Trucker John. And let's do this. Because whatever we're talking about, like I say, whatever is dear to you, vote blue for what is dear to you. Because whatever we're talking about, whether we're talking about the environment or healthcare or women's right to choose, right, or consumer rights, workers' rights, minimum wage, whatever it is, Medicare for all these things, you don't really have a chance in hell of getting any of those things with Republicans in power. All they're going to do is lower taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the poor and the middle class, strip away regulations that they're trying to help with the environment. I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect or it's a panacea or whatever, I'm just saying we have much, much, much better chance with Democrats, and it does matter. It does matter who you elect. It does make a difference. I was speaking with my daughter the other night, and she seems to be of the opinion that it doesn't really matter. And I'm trying to tell her that it does matter. It does. It matters who's in there, because presidents and people in Congress, people in political positions, they can do things that are helpful to. It just depends on who they're helping, right? If it's a Donald Trump or a Republican Party, they're going to help the billionaires and the multimillionaires, and they're going to help the multi-million and multi-billion-dollar companies. That's their number one goal. That's their reason for existence. If you get Democrats, and we've had bad Democrats, and we've had bad, some are better than others. Some administrations are better than others. But we always have a much better chance, a chance of getting anything worthwhile and meaningful that's going to help the middle class and help people that are in poverty and help to raise people out of poverty. You'll have a much better chance of that with Democrats, and it does matter. It does make a difference. So having Kamala Harris in there, who's going to, put things out for Congress to vote on, or she's going to ask for Congress to come up with bills that she will sign that are going to help small businesses or people that want to start small businesses by raising that tax credit from $5,000 to $50,000. And she's going to help first-time home buyers by proposing that Congress come up with a bill that she will sign that will offer a $25,000 down payment for new home buyers. This is going to help with our housing crisis. This is going to help people get into homes. So it does matter who's in there. It's not always perfect, and not everything goes through. And we have Republicans that will be obstructionists. We will even have some Democrats like Kirsten Sinema, who's a former Democrat now, or Joe Manchin, who I believe is going to be out of Congress, probably replaced with a Republican. But we had. I remember Max Baucus, a Democrat from I think Wyoming or something, who was a fucking thorn in the ass of the Democratic Party when we were trying to get, I think, the ACA through. That was his big thing. And I fucking couldn't stand Max Baucus because of that. It's kind of like jury tampering. You don't have to buy off the entire jury. You only have to buy off one or two. And that's what that seems like that's what happens with like Sinema and Manchin or whatever. And then Max Baucus, that name I just remember that name because I remember he was a son of a bitch. But yeah, it's not perfect, but I like my chances much better under a Democratic administration and under Democratic majorities in the House and the Senate. I like my chances as a middle class working guy much better. Let me check real quick. I thought I saw somebody walk by the window. I want to make sure it's not my delivery guy. Oh, I think it might be. I'll be right there. Yeah, my delivery's here. I'll be. So hang on, guys. Hi there. So is this everything? All right. Yeah, I guess I should just. Do you have any change in me? Oh, you did? Okay. All right. So I'll give you additional tip. All right. All right, so that was my little delivery there, some food. I just put some of the perishables away real quick. Thanks, guys. Hopefully you guys are still here. Hopefully I didn't lose too many. But now I got some food in the house, so I won't starve to death. Okay, so let's see what else is going on here. I feel like I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. Jeff Curry, I ain't had a tick in probably 3 or 4 years. Well, that's good. Not useful says rural gas guzzlers won't give up their fossil guzzling hogs. Remember, I was being theoretical. Hey, look at there. Ashburn Knutson did 20 of NOK. Not sure what that is. Remove sales tax of EVs and subsidize charging. They do have some great, thanks to Joe Biden and I guess the Inflation Reduction Act, or wherever it was coming through. They have some great incentives on there. They've been offering a $7,500 tax credit for vehicles and it has to meet a certain criteria, like I guess the type of battery and where the battery is made from, and all that kind of stuff to get the full $7,500. But that's a great deal. I think that's a great, because they just lower the price right at the point of sale. It's not like you have to file your taxes and get it and write it off or whatever. They take it right off the price of the vehicle. So if it's a $40,000 Model 3, you can get it for $33,500 or whatever it is. Subsidized charging. Yeah, I guess that'd be fine. I think we need to definitely improve the charging infrastructure. I think we need to make it where it's all universal. People are saying they'll probably all be eventually using the NACS or NSCS charging system. That's what Tesla is, the North American Charging System. NACS, I guess it is. But I do think it has to be sort of universal. So just like at a gas station, all the nozzles are the same. You don't have to go to certain gas stations to gas your car up. I think the charging station should be universal, a universal hookup, right, where you plug in, and definitely should be that should be regulated as far as these rates, because I do notice the rates just jump up and down all over the place. But yeah, but thank you for that. Supporting the show. I really do appreciate it. Asborn Newton, I've never seen you in here before. I don't know where you're from. Thanks, but if you want to enlighten us, let us know where you're from and how you heard about the show and all that good stuff. Glad to see you in here. Really, really, really awesome for you to support the show and comment. Yeah, very, it's very nice of you. Let's see. Tim Farrell says we're in the mitigation phase of global warming. It can't be stopped. It will take a generation to reverse, but society is not willing. We have to look at the grandkids and say, "Sorry, we needed the money." Well, I think it's more than that. I mean, it's ignorance, it's obstinance that's just on us, on the normal people. And then of course, fossil fuel industry is greedy and they don't want to let go of what they got going on, and they are really controlling a lot of the legislation. I think through their donations, through basically buying politicians off. And we need to stop that, because eventually there will be nothing left to buy off, because we'll all be fucking baked to death. Asborn Knutson says, General Walker, Super Chat Addict. I try to limit my need to fix my wife's car this month. Yeah. Watch your spending there. Mine is Kevin Anderson says, Fancy, he said he pulled up his sleeve and she got a hot needle and put it on his arm. I was like, damn. I'm just skipping down. Stephanie B2's here. Hey, Stephanie. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Hope you're doing better. I know you're still waiting for surgeries and things. It says, hello, everyone. I'm going to my pain management right now. My surgeon won't accept them to do my pancreatotomy. Well, that sucks, right? So I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope that gets straightened out as soon as possible. Freevoot 28, Hug a Greeter has time for all mortals. Let's see, Mr. Spock, I had an RZ350, ditched it in a speed wobble, red line, in fifth gear, approximately 95 miles an hour. That was a bad day. Yeah, motorcycle wrecks are pretty gnarly. Fancy says, my mom used to date a Hell's Angel when I was a kid, and he would drive me to school on one of those chopper motorcycles. It was so scary. That's kind of funny, though. Jeff Curry, I guess they stopped the hammering. Yeah, they stopped yesterday. That was, in fact, right after the show yesterday, or they stopped. I think they just timed it just for my show. Minus Kevin says, Fancy, when I was working at an enclave here, the cab went out of gas and was also a limo driver. We got to go home in his limo. Well, that worked out good for you. Fancy, I would like to ride in a limo for fun. Richard says, LA Dodgers all the way in the World Series against the Yankees. I agree, Richard. Richard from in Australia, I believe. Jesus. Oh, that snuck up on me. Let's see. Fancy says, I wonder what it would cost to have one of those like 8-hour driving me around. Yeah, check it out. They probably have their rates online somewhere. WW says, standard, the Fords were going to use the Tesla system, but the transition is not going smoothly. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that. Because I keep hearing that too. I have seen a couple times there was a Chevy, the Volt or the Bolt. I'm getting them mixed up. I guess it's the Bolt, the one that's all electric, the little EV. That guy was charging up at a Tesla supercharger, and he had to park. I think he had to park nose first because the charger's in the front or something. Janelle Walker says, I think that he's from Norway. So yeah, the one, and I'm probably not saying the name right, but it looks like. Hey, there's Corey the Ander. Whoops, back to work. Bye, y'all. Well, thanks for coming in, Corey. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. I didn't see you earlier, but we had Asbjorn Knudsen at a $20 NOK. I guess it's Norwegian money, which is very nice, and I appreciate it. And someone was saying that person's probably from Norway, so thank you for that, for letting me know. Freevit says, try putting comms underground, just saying. Let's see. Tuata 106, the smooth sounds of Tuata 106, playing all the great album-oriented rock. Tuata 106 on your dial. Tuata 106 says motorcycle through a barbed wire fence. Not a good day for me. What are you, Steve McQueen? You trying to escape from a German concentration camp or whatever? Let's see. Jolie says they lost by just a few points. Such an amazing game, and the announcers couldn't stop talking about Sunny. She did fantastic. 2 more games this weekend. Can't wait. Well, yeah, I'm sad they lost, but it sounded like it was a really good game. Congratulations on Sunny having a great game, and hopefully they'll do better on the weekend here. Richard says yes, watching from Australia. It's 6 a.m. there in Australia. Speaking from the future. It's coming from the future. Midas Kevin says Trucker John alcohol or no a chew. Oh, I think I'm thinking. I just remembered I didn't buy any alcohol. I don't think you can buy alcohol in that app. I don't know. But yeah, at chew. Yeah, I had a little sneeze there. So that's how far behind I am in the chat because that was like 10 minutes ago or something. WW, there are adapters, but the one the Ford made kept fusing. Yeah, I know they have adapters. Hey, there's Asmore Knudsen with a $50 NOK donation to the station here, the channel. Says the infrastructure deals need to be expanded, even more high-speed internet to rural areas, and at the same time add EV chargers at the same places. Absolutely. I absolutely agree, and thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you for helping to support the channel, and I do appreciate that very much. And thank you for listening and watching all the way from. Are you in Norway? In Asbjørn Knudsen, if you don't mind saying. I'd like to know where people are from and how did you hear about the show and all that kind of good stuff. Stephanie Batu says, stupid doctor's office, she's not where she's supposed to be, so my appointment got canceled and we're almost there. Oh, that sucks. You've got stuff to do and you want to get this handled, and then they do that to you. That's awful. As for WW, yeah, sadly you're correct. That's why they need to build them. What did WW say? I skipped down. So, oh, there it goes, W. You know the rural areas won't have nearly enough chargers. WW, you don't even live in a rural area. What the fuck do you always defend the rural area? Whatever. WW, defender of the rural areas. They won't need as many chargers because they won't have as many cars, WW. They're going to put where the higher concentration of vehicles are, that's where the higher concentration of superchargers or chargers are going to be. Duh. Keith Elite says, sobering to realize so many fellow citizens are okay about installing a Nazi-loving sociopath. Yeah, it is it's a head scratcher, that's for sure. Okay, Asbjørn Knudsen, thank you. Another $20 NOK. It says 100 Norwegian cone is just where 10 USD sparkler. Thank you so much. That's still a lot, and you've done more than enough. I appreciate your helping us out here and helping the show. I really do appreciate it, and I think it's awesome that you're able to watch us and listen to us, and how many time zones over from us. So thank you so much for the support. I do appreciate it. Mine is Kevin Fancy. I live in Ankeny. WW, because that is where my people are, in the rural areas. Okay, well, look, the rural areas, they will get superchargers. Yeah, maybe not first on the list. Maybe Chicago area, and we'll get them more, and before Dubuque, I don't know, whatever. What's a rural area? But they don't need them as much because they don't have as many cars. They don't have the demand. It's about the what's the demand. But they'll have superchargers out there. They'll get it. But they're going to put them where the demand is first. Free at 28. Chugger John seems stable. That's limit of compliment. Okay. Jeff Trey says nearest charging station is 20 minutes at Lake of the Ozarks. And what I would do if I lived in my own house and the nearest charger was 20 minutes away, when I purchased my vehicle, and if it was, I don't know about the other vehicle, about the other manufacturers, but through Tesla, you can buy a home charger for $420, and then you would need to install it. So depending on how old your house is, if it needs to be some rewiring done, or it might just be able to be plugged right in if you have a new modern house that has modern wiring. But there might be some, if you have to hire a electrician, a contractor, then you're going to have some additional charges. But maybe a few $100s, maybe a couple grand, I don't know. But that would probably be the way to go. Just get a fucking home charger if you live out in the sticks and the nearest one is 20 minutes away. I mean, you're already investing in buying a $35,000 or up vehicle, 40, 50,000, whatever you're paying. You might as well spend $420 more and get a home charger, and then whatever money it would cost to install it. Like I said, it could be a few $100, could be a few grand. I don't know, but it's probably well worth it. Instead of just bitching about the government or isn't putting in enough chargers in my rural area where 500 people live. Keith Philippe, rural areas suffer from range anxiety. Get a home charger. W says you can charge at home, but it is slow. So what? You go to sleep. You charge it when you're in bed asleep, and when you wake up, your car will be fully charged. What's the problem with that? You go home, you park your car in your garage, you plug it in, and in about 4 or 5 hours, the thing will be charged up. It might even be charged up before you go to bed. If you come home at night, let's say at 5 or 6 in the evening, you plug it in, you go have dinner, you watch some TV, maybe you go to bed at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, the thing's probably already charged by then anyhow. Of course, the smart thing to do is probably charge it after midnight if the rates go up and down and if they have like peak rates and all that kind of stuff. And you can set up these chargers, they have timers and they have all this kind of stuff. You could plug it in and then set it for it won't start charging until after midnight sometime when the rates are cheaper. So what if it's slow? Big fucking deal. You're gonna just charge it when you're sleeping, you Nimrod. WW, I don't have one in the city yet. You don't have what? A charger? You have a garage, don't you? lay out the $420, and then have the thing installed. Freefoot 28. I am starting to like this guy. Marco says the electric bills are going to go through the roof. I don't quote me on this. It depends, I guess, on whatever rates you're being charged by your electric company. But I would say if you plugged it in at your house and you plugged it in after midnight, or you had the thing set up to not charge until the low rates are going on, to get a full charge, let's say you're at 20% and you charge it up to 90 or 95 or even 80. A lot of people just recommend charging up to 80. I'm not one of those. I like mine being as close to 100% as possible. And I don't think I've noticed any depletion of the batteries, or of course I'm in a rental, so it's hard to say. But okay, let's say you go from you're at 20%, 25%, whatever it is. When you get home at night, you plug it in. Overnight, when the rates are cheaper, it goes up to, let's say, 90% or 98%, whatever you want to do, or 100% if you want. It doesn't hurt to go to 100. They've changed all that, those recommendations on that. I bet you, it costs you a couple bucks. I bet you it's like $2. So all this fear about electric bills going through the roof, I think, are nonsense. Now, if you've got 3 or 4 EVs and you're charging them all up, you charge them up at night, like I said, when the rates are cheaper, just figure $2 or $3 for each vehicle. If you've got 3 EVs you want to charge up, now, and you might have to stack those, or you might have to do them intermittently because it might be too much of a draw. And I mean, if you only have one charger, you can only do one at a time. But I'm just saying, it's probably, to do a car at home overnight, I bet you it's not more than $2 or $3. Asborn Knutson says $24 to drive 300 miles with normal gas car if it's just $3 a gallon. Mr. Spock, the electric company was a good kids show. Oh, I remember that. Morgan Freeman, I think, was on that show. Asborn Newton says $12 to $15 for the same range with the electric car. I can tell you that when I charge up at a supercharger, Tesla supercharger, if I go after midnight and I go from, say, 30% to 95%, now the rates have been creeping up. That used to be always under $10. It would be $7 or $8. And now I've been noticing it's gone up to, a lot of times, like close to $10 or $10.50 or $11 or whatever. So they do creep the rates up a little bit. And now if I did that during the day, during peak rates, it would probably be double that. You could probably double that price. Asborn Newton says, at Mark Aho Perkele a Finn. See, we have a great, I love that. We have a really great international audience. I know CN is here a lot. CN is from Finland. We've got people watching from Australia. Of course, we have our Canadian friends here. Sometimes we get a Mary T, I think, from Ireland. You guys are awesome. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us in the old driver's lounge here, and from all over the country, all over the world. I mean, it's and all over the country. I'm based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, so I'm here in the United States. So it's really really awesome. You guys are here from all over the place. Even WW from not the rural area of Illinois, I guess, but really that's where his people are. Apparently. Mr. Spock says cost me $8 gas plus 250 milliliters of two-stroke oil for about 150 kilometers. WW, I was sure that I would buy the Mach E. So you're having doubts on the Mach E now? I did skip a lot in the chat, so I may have missed what you said about the Mach E. Or apparently I did. I'm wondering. It sounds like you're not on the Mach E anymore. I don't know why I'm sneezing. My nose should know better than to sneeze during the show, but apparently my nose doesn't give a fuck. The nose knows. Nick Rich says, ever considered a microcar like a smart car, Wes? Keith Fleet says, distance between Tesla charging stations can be challenging, especially the further you get from urban areas. Yeah, that's true. I mean, these are valid concerns. If you're going on a road trip and there are rural areas and the infrastructure isn't quite there yet, I suppose that could be a challenge. The furthest I've ever driven is in the Tesla, is from here in Las Vegas down to the San Bernardino Mountains. So like 250 miles probably. That's the longest trip I've taken it on, and I had no problems. Plenty of superchargers, plenty of chargers between here and there. Had no problems. Steve Sayers says, sorry, TJ, Jeopardy started, kind of distracted. That's quite all right, Steven Sayers. That's quite all right. New York says, Fantasy says, I want to go to New York City. Now, do you want to fly there or do you want to do a road trip? I would love to do a road trip in an EV from West Coast to East Coast and do videos, make videos on that. I think that'd be a great video or a great series of videos. Sort of maybe addressing these issues about infrastructure and being able to get charged. I'd like to show how easy or maybe how not easy it is. Whatever it is. I would love to do a video on that. W says Mach E was going to use Tesla charging system, but apparently might not be happening. Oh. Well, like I said, I saw the Chevy Bolt at using a Tesla. That's Chevy, of course, not Ford. So I don't know what's going on with Ford. Dude, 2024, go Dodgers, absolutely. Absolutely, go Dodgers all the way. Thank you, Dude, 2024, for being here, by the way. Thanks for dropping by. Good to see you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. Like, subscribe, and share. Share the show. We're just doing a hangout today. We're just hanging out. I'll probably be shutting down here in a little bit. And then we're going to have House Sparks should be coming back on at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, right? Freevet28 says the U.S. will not go metric. Probably not. I don't know. We tried to do that in the 70s, and everybody hated it. Even I hated it. But just think if we had kept up with it, we would all be fucking used to it by now. It would be, 2 generations of kids growing up in it, and we would be, it would be no big deal. But we stopped because of all the people who were against it and didn't like change, and all that kind of stuff. W says parking is expensive in New York City. I bet it is. Mark Aho says, I voted my state blue. No Trump in my state. Good. We don't want Trump. Get him out. Get him out. No Trumps. Minus Kevin Anderson says, Andrew, you not able to see cousin. They live on Mount Everest in cave, laughing out loud. Fancy says there's an awesome train that goes across the U.S. by Canada. It is so awesome. Like, but it's not in Canada. I think I've heard of that train. There was a friend of mine on Facebook. She wanted either she did it or she wanted to do it. I forget now. I think she posted some videos. I think she did do it. She took a train that, but I think it goes basically from the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and then across country that way, kind of pretty much following like I-80 or I guess I-80 corridor kind of. That would be fun. WW, there is a Chevy Equinox that is EV. Yeah, they're coming out with a full line. They got the Silverado. Of course, they have the Bolt, but I guess they said they were discontinuing the Bolt, but then said they're bringing it back. I don't know, but I think they have, like you said, they got the Equinox, and I think they have they put out the I think the Trailblazer. They got like a Trailblazer EV, and they all look sharp. And I know the range on that Chevy Silverado is rated at 440 miles, which is awesome, but it's like $100,000 for that truck, which is ridiculous. Now the Equinoxes and the Trailblazers are cheaper, I believe. Yeah, they're not 100, but they're down, like 80,000 probably. The Equinox might be 50,000. I haven't really checked the prices, and I don't know what the range is, but I think their ranges are all over 300 miles range. That's pretty good. Fancy says, I was watching a video. It's beautiful. You get your own room and shower and everything. Yeah, that sounds really cool. That does sound like fun, like a fun trip, Fancy. I don't know how much it costs, but I think it'd be fun because I've never really gone on trains and stuff. It'd be a fun thing to do, a fun adventure, I think. MJ Daniel says, if the people running the big oil companies, they would be investing in EV charging at their gas stations to get ahead of the new tech, but they are nothing but jumped up bankers, not business people. Yeah, but can you make as much money selling electricity as you can selling fuel, like fossil fuel? I wonder if that's how they're looking at it. Because these companies, Mobil, Exxon, and all of them, they're making tens of billions of dollars in profits every single year, and they don't want to give that up. That's billions and billions and billions. Each one of those companies, those big major companies, they're all making 30, 40, 50 billion dollars in profits every year. That's not revenue, that's profits. Hey Gino, I get you if you're heading out. I just wanted to say thanks for being here, and I will be ending the show in a few minutes, but thank you for being here, Gino. Good to see you. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully I'll be here tomorrow right after house show on at 11 a.m. We'll do another 11 a.m. time tomorrow. House Parks Hangout, after show Hangout on Saturdays. That's our regular. You can see the schedule behind me here, over here. Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you. Let's see. MJ Daniel, been seeing more Harris signs around here, but we are in a Democratic state. So that stands to reason, I guess. Asborn Knutson, you make the money on fast food and snacks while you charge. Right. Well, that's true. Yeah, you have your little fast food, your little convenience store, but as far as the fossil fuel industry, though, the fossil fuel industry, they're not making their money on convenience stores. They're making their money on selling barrels of oil and things of this nature. I think that's where the billions and billions of dollars is coming from. Is from all the oil, the gigantic amounts of oil that they sell, or even getting it down into refining it into into gasoline. They're not making their billions of dollars on Twinkies and gas station sushi. That's what the individual owners who own that gas station, that's where they make their money, is in the convenience store. They don't really make much money on the gas. I've heard they only make, it's a really small markup. They only make a few cents a gallon or whatever it is. The actual person who owns that gas station or owns that convenience store that's attached to it. That's what I've always heard. So the fossil fuel industry, they're making money off the tons and tons and tons of gallons of oil and refining it and selling the gasoline and all that stuff in bulk, MJ Daniels says, says, seems to me that gas for driving is on the way out, so now would be a good time to invest in EV charging. The 2 grocery chains right by us have installed some. Yeah, and there are several EV charging companies. There's there's Electrify America, and there's I don't know, there's like 2 or 3 others besides the Tesla one. But like I said, I think they really need to make it where they can be universally used by any EV car. They need to make the connection point of it needs to be like a universal type of a thing. Mark Longo's here. Hey, Mark says, hey, John, is Hal going to be on this afternoon? Tell me, or I'll give you a vigorous spanking. I'm pretty sure he's going to be on at 3 p.m. today, Pacific time. But don't quote me on that, because I was listening to Hal this morning, and I pretty sure he said he's going to be on at 3 o'clock. If you guys know differently, anyone in the chat, then let us know in the chat. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be on in about an hour and a half from now. Hour and a half. Jeff Curry says, fancy, it was my cousin's yard. He's an old rocker, and I know for a fact he don't follow politics. I forgot he wanted to go with me to show tomorrow. Oops. Mr. Spock, still don't know what TJ was eating. I wasn't eating anything. I sneezed a few times. I was drinking water and I had coffee. Dude 2024 says net profit can be about 15 cents a gallon. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's what the station owners are getting. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is. But yeah, okay. So Fancy says that will be nice, right? And W says, yes, he said that he would be on. Okay. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be on at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Adjust accordingly to whatever your time zones are. Like I said, we got people from all over the country, and we got people from all over the world that are watching. And if you're a Hal Sparks fan, or even if you're not a Hal Sparks fan, you want to check him out, he'll be on right here on YouTube. Look at him. If you don't have his link, you don't know the thing, just you can look up Hal Sparks. He comes on at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Great show, great guy, very informative and entertaining at the same time. I highly recommend Hal Sparks. If there's anyone in here who's not familiar with Hal Sparks, I think we're probably almost all sparklers. But you never know. You never know. Can't take that for granted. And let's see. Keith Fleece says the fall colors are going to be beautiful this weekend in Missouri. I've been to Missouri, not only as a truck driver, but even way before, when I was a little kid, because I've got family from Missouri. I remember we visited my grandfather, who lived in I guess you call it a suburb or area outside of, I guess, Kansas City, Missouri. I believe it was Independence, Missouri. So if you guys are from Missouri, maybe you know where I'm talking about. And some of my vivid memories of going back and visiting Grandpa Joe was seeing some of those trees, like, because we go back at different times of year. Sometimes it was spring or summer. I think sometimes we must have been there in the fall, because I do remember seeing some of the trees turning color, and it was really awesome. And he had this huge tree in his yard, this one big huge tree. It was like so huge, I just remember it being like almost this perfect, like big round, huge tree. And in the summertime, it was nice. It was a great shade tree and everything. And then we were there. I think we were there in the fall one time, and it was kind of like this reddish, orangish color. And then just driving across country, seeing all the various areas where the leaves were turning. A lot different than where I always grew up in the desert. So, I mean, you would get that because people, believe it or not, in towns in the desert, people have trees. They have, trees that, was it deciduous trees or have leaves that fall? We do have that. We do have a changing of color, but not to the extent of some of these places where the trees, that you can just see trees going on for as far as the eye can see. And then you start seeing the fall colors come in, and it's really amazing. Especially for a kid who grew up in the desert, who sees a lot of brown. But like I said, in our neighborhoods, we have a lot of green too. Freevent 128 from the UK. All right, we've got quite a few UK. Usually, sometimes we get, what's his face, the monkey guy? Spearmint Monkey? No, what's his name? We get him in here. Sometimes, I guess, Paul Sharkey Mannion from UK. Like I say, Mary T from Ireland. Now we got Freevent 28 from the UK. So thank you so much. All you guys. Absvor Knudsen from, I believe, Norway is here and has been supporting the show. Thank you so much. Always good to see people from all over the world. It's really awesome. I just love it. I love that. Keith Police says just voted #1 in Como. Delta Dawn says, I'll see you guys in house chat. I have a delivery coming now too. Thanks, TJ. Thanks, mods. Well, thank you, Delta Dawn, for being here. Yeah, we'll see you over in house chat. And I am going to shut this show down here in just a couple minutes. Hopefully I did plug in my little tiny mic, and it's performing well. So that should hopefully last for the rest of the show. But I suppose I would be remiss if we didn't have a guest come in. Yeah, Trucker John, you think you're going to end the show without old Tough Cookie coming in? Giving his 2 cents worth? Well, you got another thing coming, Trucker John. That's right, you got another thing coming. I ain't going to let you off that easy. Without old Trucker John and without old Tough Cookie. Forget Trucker John. This is now the Tough Cookie show. So yeah, hey, but thanks everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody. You guys are awesome for coming on in, hanging out, and really giving Trucker John something to do because he's a mess. When the show's not on, he's lazy. He just sits around. He's really kind of disgusting. So thank you for letting him have this show. At least it gets us out of everyone's hair for a couple hours. He sits in the corner and does his thing. And while the rest of us, me and Paul, we're eating his groceries that he just got. So he's going to have to probably make another delivery call really soon. Anyhow, guys, hey, thanks for being here. I just want to let y'all know that you got to vote blue no matter who. I can't wait till we have Madam President Kamala Harris. It's going to be an awesome and glorious day. It will be awesome. It does matter. It does make a difference. Who's in there? Oh, God help us. If Trump gets back in there, God help us all. If Trump gets back in, you can kiss this democracy goodbye. Just kiss it goodbye. So that's all I got to say about that. Make sure you vote. Get out there and vote. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. It's almost over. All right? It's almost over. And hopefully the long national nightmare that has been Donald Trump will be over soon too. All right? Hey, what do you know? We got some words of encouragement from Tough Cookie. Thanks, Tough Cookie. But yeah, I just want to reiterate, guys, make sure you vote. Hopefully by now you're registered. Some places have same-day registration, like here in Nevada, they've got same day. But hey, why wait till the last day? If you can get registered, get registered. Check your registration. Vote.org. Go on there, check it out. Make sure you're registered. And let's vote. Let's vote for Kamala Harris. Let's vote for joy. Let's vote for happiness. All right? Let's make America happy again. Maha, as I like to call it. Let's make America joyful again. That would be Maja. I could go on all day, folks. But whatever you do, make sure you vote for Kamala Harris and then vote for all blue down the ticket. Let's give Kamala Harris the Congress that she needs in order to get these things done. So hopefully we can get rid of the filibuster and we can just go gangbusters. Just go gangbusters on getting some things through that we need to get through. It does make a difference who's in charge of things. It does make a difference if we had a Kamala Harris in there over a Donald Trump. That's a huge difference. It's not even close. It's not even close at all. It's like the difference between night and day. Do you want authoritarianism and the destruction of democracy, the destruction of the Constitution? Then you vote for Donald Trump. If you want democracy in its full force and you want to see meaningful change, you want to see the economy to keep growing and being robust, and you want to see women not be treated as second-class citizens, then you vote for Kamala Harris. And oh yeah, Rovember, bitches. Rovember. It's coming. It's coming. And we'll see. We'll see it. So that's it for now. I'm going to hand it back over to Trucker John. And I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess. All right. Thanks for those guys coming in. I see Jack McCool, the coolest name on the internet, is here. Says, I think the U.S. is going to metric and don't realize that every garage has metric tools. NASA is metric boring, sell all over the world. I'm sure they built them in metric specs. That could be. It could be going that route instead of having like an official, government thing. Like in the 70s, it was kind of like that was one of the things that they were trying to do, like from the government, and I guess it didn't work. Mrs. Buck, less than 2 weeks, and the orange sphincter turd will be voted away. Yeah, hopefully. Let's just get rid of that orange turd. Let's, sometimes you do got to flush twice or thrice, apparently. But anyhow, guys, yeah, thanks so much for being here. Nick Rich says, John needs a matching ball cap. I'm wearing Dodgers throughout the World Series, so I don't know what you're talking about. Or a purple wig. Fancy says, November bitches. Mr. Spock, Donald Trump on the toilet with a few. Okay. All right, guys. So, but I did want to say something. And now I forget. I forget what I was. There was something kind of pertinent, and I don't remember what I was going to say now. Maybe I'll remember it for tomorrow's show. But we'll see. We'll see about that. But yeah, there's the schedule right there. You see it? Yeah, there it is. We'll be back on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, or whenever Hal ends the show. I believe he's still going to do a show tomorrow. I think are they doing Sexy Liberal tomorrow? But it's in LA, so that's an easy one for Hal. He can do his show, and then he can just get in his car and drive down there for the show, I guess. I wish they would do one in Vegas. That'd be awesome. But so after, I'll be on tomorrow. We'll hang out again. We can just hang out and talk about whatever crosses our little minds. And that's how the show kind of works. We just sort of meander and talk about whatever. And let's see, I'm just looking at the chat real quick. Temper Price, everyone's so nice in the chat. Pretty much, except for W. No, I'm just kidding. And as far as I know, Hal's on at 3 p.m. So I guess that's it. Thank you so much for all you guys do. Now, for some reason, like I said, on my Right now I'm watching the show on my feed on the dashboard channel. If I go to my channel, Trucker John channel, for some reason I can't get to the chat filter, and I can't go to all messages or all chats, and I can't. Yeah, there's no chat filter. I don't know why, and I can't go and back and look at all the membership support things that were put in. I don't know why that is. Anyhow, I'll have to mess with that later. I don't know what's going on, but anyhow, so in any case, so I just now went back to my channel, so I'm just seeing top messages now. I'm not seeing them all. But thank you guys so much. We got 34 watching, 86 thumbs up. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Let's share the show. We're at 3,460 subscribers. You guys are awesome. It's all because of you. It's because you guys hit the like button and you comment and you share. And that gets us out in the algorithm. And that gets us to places like Norway and Finland and Ireland and Australia and Canada and the UK. Well, Ireland's part of the UK. But, England and all over the world. And it's so awesome. And it's so great. And I love hanging out with you guys. And I guess that's it for now. I'll see you guys on the next one, which will be tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm just trying to think if I know I was going to say something and I forgot. And I can't remember what it was, but that happens. I guess it happens. Maybe if I go stretch, it'll come back to me. I don't know. All right, I'm going to go stretch my hammies. All right.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hostile of Easter, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kill. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully. Nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about gold chimes, but if we did, I'd be on to glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you, baby, to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should've stopped a truck driving. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kick. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where